everyone, today we are going to talk about jellyfish. Jellyfish, also known as sea jellies or simply jellies, are the medusa phase of certain gelatinous members of the subphylum Medusazoa, which is a major part of the phylum Cnidaria. Jellyfish are mainly free-swimming marine animals, although a few are anchored to the seabed by stalks rather than being motile. They are made of an umbrella-shaped main body made of mesoglea, known as the bell, and a collection of threading tentacles on the underside. Via pulsating contractions, the bell can provide propulsion for locomotion through open water. The tentacles are armed with stinging cells and may be used to capture prey or to defend against predators. Jellyfish have a complex life cycle, and the medusa is normally the sexual phase which produces planula larvae. These can disperse widely and enter a sedentary polyp phase which may include asexual bonding before reaching sexual maturity. Jellyfish are found all over the world, from surface waters to deep sea. Scyphozoans are exclusively marine, but some hydrozoans with a similar appearance live in freshwater. Large, often colorful jellyfish are common in coastal zones worldwide. The medusae of most species are fast-growing and mature within a few months, then die soon after breeding, but the polyp stage attached to the seabed may be much more long-lived. Jellyfish have been in existence for at least 500 million years and possibly 700 million years or more, making them the oldest multi-organ animal group. Jellyfish are eaten by humans in certain cultures. They are considered a delicacy in some Asian countries, where species in the Rhizotomae order are pressed and salted to remove excess water. Australian researchers have described them as a perfect food, sustainable and protein-rich, but relatively low in food energy. They are also used in cell and molecular biology research, especially the green fluorescent protein used by some species for bioluminescence. This protein has been adapted as a fluorescent reporter for inserted genes and has had a large impact on fluorescence microscopy. The stinging cells used by jellyfish to subdue their prey can injure humans. Thousands of swimmers worldwide are stung every year, with effects ranging from mild discomfort to serious injury or even death. When conditions are favorable, jellyfish can form vast swarms which may damage fishing gear or filling fish nets and sometimes clog the cooling systems of power and desalination plants which draw their water from the sea. The name jellyfish, in use since 1796, has traditionally been applied to medusae and all similar animals, including the comb jellies. The term jellies or sea jellies is more recent, having been introduced by public aquaria in an effort to avoid use of the word fish, with its modern connotation of an animal with a backbone. Though shellfish, cuttlefish, and starfish are not vertebrates either, in scientific literature, jelly and jellyfish have been used interchangeably. Many sources refer to only scyphozoans as true jellyfish. A group of jellyfish is called a smack or a smack. The term jellyfish broadly corresponds to medusae, that is, a life cycle stage in the Medusazoa. The American evolutionary biologist Pauline Cartwright gives the following general definition. Typically, Medusazoan cnidarians have a pelagic predatory jellyfish stage in their cycle. Staurozoans are the exception. The Merriam-Webster dictionary defines jellyfish as follows: a free-swimming marine coelenterate that is sexually reproducing form of a hydrozoan or scyphozoan and has a nearly transparent saucer-shaped body and extensible marginal tentacles studded with stinging cells. Given that jellyfish is a common name, its mapping to biological groups is inexact. Some authorities have called the comb jellies and certain salps jellyfish, though other authorities state that neither of these are jellyfish, which they consider should be limited to a certain group within the Medusazoa. The subphylum Medusazoa includes all cnidarians with a medusa stage in their life. The basic cycle is egg, planula, larva, polyp, medusa, with the medusa being the sexual stage. The polyp stage is sometimes secondarily lost. The subphylum included the major taxa, Scyphozoa, Cubozoa, and Hydrozoa, and excludes Anthozoa. This suggests that the medusa form evolved after the polyps. Medusazoans have tetramerous symmetry with parts in 4 or multiples of 4. The 4 major classes of Medusazoan cnidaria are Scyphozoan, are sometimes called true jellyfish, though they are no more truly jellyfish than the others listed here. They have tetradial symmetry. Most have tentacles around the outer margin of the bowl-shaped bill and long oral arms around the mouth in the center of the subumbrella. Cubozoa have a box-shaped bill, and their velarium assists them to swim more quickly. Box jellyfish may be related more closely to Scyphozoan jellyfish than either are to the Hydrozoa. Hydrozoa medusa also have tetraradial symmetry, nearly always have a velum attached just inside the bell margin, do not have oral arms but a much smaller central stalk-like structure, the manubrium, with terminal mouth opening that are distinguished by the absence of cells in the mesoglea. Hydrozoa show great diversity of lifestyle. Some species maintain the polyp form for their entire life and do not form the medusa at all, and a few are entirely medusal and have no polyp form. Staurozoa are characterized by a medusa form that is generally sessile, oriented upside down, and with a stalk emerging from the apex of the calyx, which attaches to the substrate. At least some Staurozoa also have a polyp form that alternates with the medusoid portion of the life cycle. Until recently, Staurozoa were classified within the Scyphozoa. There are over 2,000 species of Scyphozoa, about 50 species of Staurozoa, about 50 species of Cubozoa, and the Hydrozoa includes about 1,000 to 1,050 500 species that produce medusae, but many more species that do not not. Since jellyfish have no hard parts, fossils are rare. The oldest unambiguous fossil of a free-swimming medusa is Burgess medusa from the mid-Cambrian Burgess Chalet of Canada, which is likely either a stem group of box jellyfish or Acrospeda. The other claimed records from the Cambrian of China and Utah in the United States are uncertain and possibly represent ctenophores instead. The main feature of a true jellyfish is the umbrella-shaped bell. This is a hollow structure consisting of a mass of transparent jelly-like matter known as mesoglea, which forms the hydrostatic skeleton of the animal. The mesoglea is 95 or more composed of water and also contains collagen and other fibrous proteins as well as wandering mebocytes that can engulf debris and bacteria. The mesoglea is bordered by the epidermis on the outside and the gastrodermis on the inside. The edge of the bell is often divided into rounded lobes known as lappets, which allow the bell to flex. In the gaps or niches between the lappets are dangling rudimentary sense organs known as rhoophilia, and the margin of the bell often bears tentacles. On the other side of the bell is the manubrium, a stalk-like structure hanging down from the center, with the mouth which also functions as the anus at its tip. There are often 4 oral arms connected to the manubrium, streaming away into the water below. The mouth opens to the gastrovascular cavity, where digestion takes place and nutrients are absorbed. This is subdivided by 4 thick septa into a central stomach and 4 gastric pockets. The 4 pairs of gallnuts are attached to the septa, and close to them 4 septal funnels open to the exterior, perhaps supplying good oxygenation to the gallnuts. Near the free edges of the septa, gastric filaments extend into the gastric cavity. These are armed with nematocysts and enzyme-producing cells and play a role in subduing and digesting the prey. In some scytophones, the gastric cavity is joined to radial canals which branch extensively and may join a marginal ring canal. Cilia in these canals circulate the fluid in a regular direction. The box jellyfish is largely similar in structure. It has a squarish box-like bell, a short pendulum or stalk hangs from each of the 4 lower corners. 1 or more long slender tentacles are attached to each pendulum. The rim of the bell is folded inwards to form a shelf known as a velarium, which restricts the bell's aperture and creates a powerful jet when the bell pulsates, allowing the box jellyfish to swim faster than true jellyfish. Hydrozoans are also similar, usually with just 4 tentacles at the edge of the bell. Although many hydrozoans are colonial and may not have a free-living medusal stage, in some species a non-detachable bud known as a gonophore is formed that contains a gallnut but is missing many other medusal features such as tentacles and rhoophalia. Stocked jellyfish are attached to a solid surface by a basal disc and resemble a polyp, the oral end of which has partially developed into a medusa with tentacle-bearing lobes and a central manubrium with four-sided mouth. Most jellies do not have specialized systems for osmoregulation, respiration, and circulation, and do not have a central nervous system. Nematocysts, which deliver the sting, are located mostly on the tentacles. True jellyfish also have them around the mouth and stomach. Jellyfish do not need a respiratory system because sufficient oxygen diffuses through the epidermis. They have limited control over their movement but can navigate with the pulsation of the bell-like body. Some species are active swimmers most of the time, while others largely drift. The rhoophalia contains rudimentary sense organs which are able to detect light, water, burn, vibration, odor, and orientation. A loose network of nerves called a nerve net is located in the epidermis. Although jellyfish are traditionally thought not to have a central nervous system, nerve net concentration and ganglion-like structure could be considered to constitute one in most species. A jellyfish detects stimuli and transmits impulses both through the nerve net and around the circular nerve ring to other nerve cells. The rhoophalia ganglia contains pacemaker neurons which control swimming rate and direction. In many species of jellyfish, the rhoophalia include ocelli, light-sensitive organs able to tell light from dark. These are generally pigment spot ocelli which have some of their cells pigmented. The rhoophalia are suspended on stalks with heavy crystals of calcium carbonate at one end, acting like gyroscopes to orient the eyes skyward. Certainly, jellyfish look upward at the mangrove canopy while making a daily migration from mangrove swamps into the open lagoon, where they feed and back again. Both jellyfish have more advanced vision than the other groups. Each individual has 24 eyes, 2 of which are capable of seeing color and 4 parallel information processing areas detecting competition, supposedly making them one of the few kinds of animal to have a 360-degree view of its environment. This was all. This is the part 1, and I'm going to make a part 2 finishing the series. So bye.